Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday, and more importantly that you are bundled up at home. I'm KHOU Meteorologist Kim Castro. So what do you think? Did it live up to the warning of how cold it was going to be? Cold and very breezy day. This is a snapshot right around 3 o'clock in the afternoon in North Galveston Bay. There was a wind advisory there. Gusty winds getting up to 40 miles an hour, so a low water advisory was issued. It was just allowed to expire, although the wind warning there lasts until 9 o'clock tonight, so still very dangerous sea conditions there, and we'll continue to see those temperatures plummet overnight, so we are not done with the cold just yet. In fact, it's actually going to get worse before it gets better. Let's talk about the warnings that are active right now. We've got a hard freeze warning for areas north of I-10, so all of our northern counties. Hard freeze means those temperatures are going to be dipping down below 28 degrees, and they're going to stay that way for a number of hours. So this is really important that we keep the 4 P's in mind: our people, pets, plants, and even pipes. With a hard freeze warning, you do want to keep your pipes in mind, especially if you have any exposed infrastructure. Just make sure to wrap it up a little bit. Then as we push south of I-10, there's a freeze warning. So temperatures here right around 29 to 32 degrees. That's allowed to expire at 10 o'clock in the morning. So everybody under some sort of a freeze warning. Temperatures are going to be even colder than what they were today. So if you were brave enough to go outside and you felt it, it was certainly brisk, especially factoring in that wind. Now, what is going to allow for those temperatures to plummet even more is that wind is going to start to calm down for tonight. And so radiational cooling is going to take effect. So it's a give and take. At least we're wrapping up with the wind. I know that really rattled things up, caused power outages today. So at least we're going to get rid of that, not getting rid of the cold, however. All right, one more warning to talk about. Wind is going to be a factor, like I mentioned, until tonight, but starting to subside by tomorrow. All right, what a difference one day will make, right? A total 180 between Saturday and Sunday. We traded in the very warm, humid air mass that pushed us into the mid-80s with record-breaking heat, not only for the day, but for the month, to feels like conditions that only made it to 36 degrees at Bush Intercontinental Airport. So it only felt up to 36 degrees. Actual temperatures for this afternoon did bounce into the 40s. Current conditions right now, we're looking at 40 degrees at Bush, 43 for Hobby, everybody hovering in the low 40s, and it is obviously a very stark difference from where we were yesterday, about 35 plus degrees cooler than where we were this exact same time yesterday. Feeling even colder than that because, like we've been talking about over and over again, we're dealing with that wind. If you can, comment, what did you think of it today? I mean, for me, my sister lives in Chicago, and it was very reminiscent of a Chicago day. The bitterly cold air coupled with the wind, it was one of those things where you had to kind of pause before you head outdoors and kind of just brace yourself a little bit. It was chilly out there. Current feels like conditions right now, it feels like 30 degrees at Bush, so it feels below the freezing mark. Feels like that at Dayton 2, Conroe, you're feeling like you're in the 20s. Everybody else feeling like they're in the 30s. Beaumont also at 28 degrees. A current check at wind speeds, still a little bit on the breezy side, but will start to calm as the evening progresses. So right now, 20 mile an hour sustained wind, so that's constant wind for Bush and for Hobby. Pearland, you're right around 14 miles an hour. Palacios has started to calm. It was just at 30 miles an hour about 15 minutes ago. So we are seeing the effects of the wind starting to finally ease up, and that's just the effect of that low pressure system moving further and further away and starting to really wind things down for us as we head into the work week. Current wind gusts, so sustained wind was right around 20 miles an hour, so gusts are getting up to 25 miles an hour. Galveston seeing gusts close to 40 miles an hour, so still very dangerous along the coast there, especially for anybody, hopefully you're not headed into the water at this time. 31 mile an hour gusts in Beaumont, 30 mile an hour gust in Liberty, and 17 for Columbus, so definitely starting to ease up to the west and to the north. All right, let's take us through this evening and for the start of our work week. All right, temperatures tonight, 9:30, we're all going to be pretty much in the 30s with the exception of the coast, very low 40s. So anywhere between the low 30s at College Station to the upper 30s at Bush. And as you can see, those wind particles starting to calm down. That's going to allow for the daytime heating to really escape quickly. So 6 o'clock in the morning, virtually everybody, again, with the exception of the coast, either at or below the freezing mark. Bush at the freezing mark, Sugar Land below that, 30 degrees at 6 o'clock in the morning. Dayton also at 30 degrees. Brenham 28, College Station 28, Huntsville same deal there. Livingston a little bit on the warmer side, but certainly seeing conditions that would warrant you to pay attention to your loved ones, and that goes for people and for pets as well. So if you have any neighbors, this is another reminder to just check up on them, and of course your pets, if they don't typically stay with you indoors, you're going to want to make sure that you do bring them inside for this evening. All right, the reward here is once we get through tomorrow morning, temperatures by the afternoon are going to rebound into the 50s. So at least it's going to feel a little bit more comfortable, still holding on to that winter feel. If you want it to feel like winter, it's certainly going to feel like it tomorrow, but at least less of a jarring effect, less brisk, certainly. And another good thing here, not only are actual temperatures going to be in the 50s, but feels like temperatures are also going to be in the 50s. And again, that's just the effect of the lack of wind. So wind always makes it feel colder because it wipes away the insulation in our body. So that's why it feels even colder. But tomorrow we are going to see the 50s. So going from feeling like the 30s today to going like we're feeling in the 50s is going to be about a 20-degree temperature feel bump. So that's some good news there. All right, speaking of temperature bumps, we are going to see the next few days onshore flow build back in, and that means temperatures are going to be on the rise, and they're going to be on the rise rather quickly. So just about 10 degrees warmer each and every day as we transition at least until the middle of the week, and then we see another front. So mid-50s for the start of our work week. We get into the mid-60s by Tuesday, mid-70s by Wednesday, and then we start to reset the temperatures just a little bit. So a front on Thursday. That's going to dip our temperatures into the 50s again on Friday, so another day with the winter feel if you're looking for that. But quickly we're going to start to see more warmth filter back in by the weekend. And really, for the most part, this 7-day forecast is looking dry, with the exception as we get into the weekend, we see those rain chances ramp up a little bit. But for the most part, we are going to stay dry, crisp and cool, at least for the start of the work week, and then temperatures starting to get a little bit more on the warm side. So definitely a week that you want to be following up with us and checking the forecast. It's not going to be one of those weeks where you can just forget about it and just plan to wear sandals and flip-flops like we were wearing much of December. This is definitely going to be one of those weeks that you're going to have to probably layer a little bit. Cold starts the day. It's the days, especially on Thursday, we'll be starting off in the upper 30s, then getting into the upper 60s. You're going to want to shed some layers and that sort of thing. But at least nothing to be concerned with in the way of any heavy moisture, downpours, or anything like that. We're going to stay mostly dry for the 7-day forecast. Anyways, I will see you back here at 10 o'clock on the KHOU News at 10 rather. And as always, make sure to stay up to date on our social media sites. See you then.